fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack, 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 Riverboat Jack. That's what I'm talking about. First time singing the songs for Riverboat Jack. Shout out. I don't know what I'm doing really, but I got passion. That's what it's about. It's all about passion. Where she streams, all that content is bursting seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack, 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 Riverboat Jack.
God damn it. Why everything? God damn it. Hello. I'm apparently in the void right now. My camera is being a salty Sally. I don't have a whole lot of time, so I'm pretty pissed at the moment. Oh bother. Like, I can switch between the scenes. I can't actually turn on my camera. I might need to reboot my streaming software. I'll be right back, folks. My apologies. Am I back in the correct streams, horizontal and vertical? Okay. Vertical chat, I need you to confirm. I need you to confirm. Vertical chat, I need you, goddammit! Okay. There we go. Cool. Alright. Sweet. Alright. Hello, everybody! Hello! Sorry about the bumpy beginning here. I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm kind of crunched, but we're just gonna jump into this this segment here. Let's do it. So, folks, I wanted to talk to you guys today about Project 2029, which you all may have been hearing like desire for something like that to exist, a democratic response to Project 2025, which was put together by, a conglomeration of think tanks on the right. You've got like the Heritage Foundation being the main one, but a whole slew of different think tanks contributed to Project 2025. It's why Donald Trump was able to do so much damage so quickly in Trump 2. And so, what exactly is the Democratic plan to respond to that? What is Project 2029? So far it's been kind of this abstract idea rather than an actual set of proposals or plan of any kind, really. It's just kind of been like, yeah, we should have that. And people moved on, right? And the first preliminary official release from a group on the left named Project 2029, just in case you aren't quite sure what they are up to, is it leaked. It leaked to the Bulwark, and it is, I have to say, absolute dog shit would maybe be too kind. So here are the summaries of what the Bulwark was able to look at from this preliminary Project 2029 proposal. All right. Utility monopolies. America's electric grid still runs on a century-old monopoly model that leaves 150 million households with no choice in who provides their power, and tens of billions of dollars in potential savings locked behind outdated laws. Our proposal outlines how the next president should break these monopolies open, letting competition drive down bills, speed up delivery, and unleash a new wave of cleaner, cheaper energy for families and businesses. Now, I'm going to stop right there because this pisses me off. One, it pisses me off because it shows that, Democrats are willing to break apart the trusts, apply antitrust rules, break apart the monopolies. That's good. And so, in principle, this should sound good until you start thinking it through, right? Which is, wait a minute, how is having multiple different like power companies competing to facilitate power to homes and businesses, how would that competition even really function? How would it not immediately either become just insider baseball where they all collude with one another, or turn into a situation where it just reconsolidates again? How would this competition function? Like, are you going to have to go out and find like, your five different local power companies and compare and contrast their rates? That sounds terrible. No one wants to do that. No one wants to be managing like the perks of signing up for their local utility company. That sounds terrible. And what it sounds like to me is just creating an untold number of headaches for Americans, while also effectively doing nothing to change the functional way in which people engage with their utilities, right? Like, the much more logical thing for me, like it seems to me, would be like nationalize utility companies. Like, just say, no, you can't actually do this for a profit. Provide electricity at cost, provide clean, drinkable water at cost. Those are things that the government ostensibly should be able to do, you know? Like, if anything, that would make the government be immediately more useful to basically everybody. And I just, like, there was a time, by the way, when there were competing utility companies and they would just build their own like power lines. There were places in America where the power lines from competing electrical companies were so dense that they would literally block out the sun from people walking on the street. Like, we've already done this and it was bad. It was not great. And that's why we moved away from it. So, it just kind of seems to me this is on its face terrible. Like, also the fact that this is like this is the number one thing that is listed. And now, granted, maybe it's just the way the document's formatted. It's a preliminary document. I get it, right? Let's take a look at the next point that the Bulwark was able to get a hold of: childcare. Families today are caught in the childcare catch-22, with childcare costs taking up nearly 10 to 20% of the average family's already stretched take-home pay. Families can't afford to pay for childcare while they work. And because parents with young kids are managing other costs like saving for a home or paying student debt, many can't afford to stay home and not work. Our proposal outlines how the next president can ensure that every family has the time, financial support, and high-quality care options they want, giving parents back the power of choice on how to support their young children. Now, a couple of different things here, right? Because the framing of choice when it comes from politicians is almost always just a message point to say, well, you need healthcare choice. You need utility choice. It's just another way of saying, yeah, you should have a bunch of different options, all of which rip you off, right? That's effectively what that means. And on top of that, let's just walk through this proposal, right? So they acknowledge that childcare costs are a huge problem, right? Okay, so we can't, they're such a problem, families can't participate in the wider economy, right? And, but then it lists other costs like saving for a home or paying student debt. And boy, howdy, wouldn't it be great if we had a president with a spine who is actually willing to end student debt in America? It's almost like we tried that before with a weak and stupid and feckless president who was sundowning hard, right? It's almost like that. And the additional kind of salt in the wound here is that instead of advocating like many states in the country have already done and passed statewide laws to ensure like free childcare, free pre-K, free any like things that would actually help universally for everyone in the state, right? Instead of doing that, they're just talking about, oh, the next president needs to ensure that everyone has the time, financial support, and high quality care options they want. You know, as if poor people just don't want high quality childcare. It's not because people won't be getting childcare just because they choose not to, not because they're too poor to get it. That's stupid. That's stupid. Huge states, home to tens of millions of people, have passed free childcare. That's a thing that already exists. It is not a big ask for the President of the United States to actually be a leader and lead the country to free childcare.
But you'll be able to choose who rips you off. Also, this is so clearly them pandering rather things they actually care about.
It's not even pandering, though. Like, the thing is, pandering would be like saying, we're going to provide something you want desperately, and playing that up in a big way. But this isn't that. Like, Zoran Mamdani's over there being like, we're going to build 200,000 new homes and make 200,000 more homes available to low-income folks. Like, that's actual structural change. This is less than that. And we're talking about the president of the United States compared to the mayor of a city. Right? This is just clear ignoring the constituency. Exactly. Let's take a look at one of their other premier policy proposals here, right? Kids over clicks. Parents today are raising kids in a digital environment engineered to hook them in the consequences, from a worsening youth mental health crisis to a new wave form of harm from AI chatbots, are no longer in dispute. Just as America sets minimum ages for drinking and gambling, it's time to set real guardrails around the products targeting kids online. Our proposal would protect children from the most harmful features of social media and AI, give parents stronger tools, and dismantle the surveillance advertising model that drives much of the harm. Now, I do think dismantling the surveillance advertising model would be good. Like, the way we get tracked by companies is terrible, but it shouldn't be framed as a we must protect the children. We need to protect one another. We need to protect our data. It's important for us to have control over where our data goes, who has access to it. That's the important thing. What this really reads like to me is we need age verification laws. Like, right? Like that's basically what they're advocating for. And that is almost always, I'm just going to say always, it is always an invasion of privacy. They are always going to use that information from age verification to further track you. Like that's how these companies make money. It's what's baffling about this to me is like they're saying, "Hey, we're going to end the surveillance advertising by collecting more of your data." And the reality is there should be laws against advertising like social media. There should be laws against targeting children with advertisements. There should be. Like there have been a lot of laws around advertising to children, and I think that's good. We should expand those laws. But that doesn't mean turning the internet into a surveillance state. That is not the solution here. And the fact that it's kind of being portrayed as that, where no, private companies shouldn't be able to surveil you. We, the government, should be able to surveil you. That's gross and icky and bad. To not to mince words here, right? And finally, the last one here is the annoyance economy. Americans are losing enormous amounts of time, money, and patience to the small daily hassles of corporations deliberately design daily hassles corporations deliberately design into modern life. Spam calls, useless chatbots, surprise fees, impossible cancellations, endless paperwork. The hassle isn't a bug, it's the business model, and it costs households well over $100 billion a year. Our proposal would take on the annoyance economy directly, restoring basic fairness and common sense to the everyday transactions that shape how Americans experience the economy. Now, this is a fine proposal. But it is not a plank proposal. This is like one of those side proposals. Jack, why are we vertical again? Because there's a fucking second stream that's not vertical. All right, sorry, I snapped. But this annoyance economy, that's not a main talking point. This is something that, like, you say, offhandedly and then deliver it, everyone appreciates, right? Zoran Mamdani wouldn't run on just reducing the level of annoyances you experience. That's not useful. Like, what is important here is instead, we are going to materially improve your lives. Sure, removing annoyances are great, but you know what's even better? Being able to pay rent, being able to have healthcare, being able to pay your utility bill, being able to have access to goods and services that meaningfully improve your life. This is like a nice thing to have. It's not anywhere near a main thing. Right? And that's what pisses me the fuck off. None of these are good enough.
I find gay child safety stuff funny because the kids will get around it. One smart kid will figure out the flaw, and they'll gain rep telling others.
I mean, it's true. Like, what was it? Like, kids in the UK were drawing fake mustaches on themselves and getting through age verification checks, despite the new laws passed in the UK. It's ridiculous, right? Now, what group actually made this? This was put together by Project 2029, which is a democratic, think tank operation. But it's worth asking, who exactly are these think tanks, right? Who's putting this together? And it should come as no surprise to you fine folks that it's third way. It's third way bullshit. gotta level with you guys. Third way is on the advisory board for Project 2029, and I'm genuinely we're just at an of course moment. Of course they embedded themselves in this, and it's so absolutely terrible.
Of course!
Right? So I mean, you can go to Project 2029's website, by the way, and nothing that is public facing on their website means anything. They have an entire ideas page where they talk about how their number one idea is reward hard work and their number two idea is that Americans deserve their government back. Those aren't policy proposals, those are platitudes. And like they're very clearly being put in place so that they don't have to like actually make any promises. And I don't know, it's pretty telling, I think. So I'm just enraged, I guess. I'm just enraged by this. I find it to be irresponsible. I find it to be like frankly just miserable. Absolutely miserable.
Small thing, but I hate how lazy and uncreative the Democratic Party is. Reps have Project 2025? Well, we have 2029. They call the VP the border czar? So will we. It's small, but it's annoying.
Yeah. Yep. Like I'm just I'm so over it. You know? Like they can't even bring themselves to talk about free childcare. They can only talk about childcare. They can't bring themselves to talk about, you know, eliminating student debt. They have to talk about making it easier to pay your student debt. Yeah, you know, like they can't talk about, you know, making your electrical bill lower. They can only talk about, you know, how we're going to increase competition and they assume you're going to magically get a lower bill. You know, like they can't talk about data privacy that actually helps you, and instead they have to put up new ways to collect even more of your data. They can't talk about actual economic relief, so instead they talk about the things that eliminating things that annoy you. When the real problems facing this country are existential. They are whether or not people can afford to live, whether or not people can afford to have families, whether or not people get healthcare, whether or not people get to live or die. Those are the real questions right now. Alongside, can you afford to live a life worth a damn? And for a lot of people in this country, the answer is like, frankly, no, a lot of the time. People are just struggling to get by, hoping that one day they get to live a life worth a damn, where they can walk and breathe in the air free and clear, where they can, you know, afford to like eat something nice with their loved ones, where they can afford to like go and play with their children. And instead they're like, well, what if we eliminated scam calls for you? Which I want to also reiterate is something that the past administrations had already done for you. This is offering you the status quo, gussied up as some revolutionary set of policies. And it pisses me off. And it should piss you off too. It's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. And like this is coming from folks like Chad Meisel, who is like the one of the head guys over at the Center for American Progress. Like this is not a slew of just like random uninfluential political figures. This is like, oh, like the major Democratic think tanks put their heads together and this was the best they could do. Right? And the Bulwark kind of caps this by saying, although Democrats have sharply criticized Project 2025, some of the party's top policymakers believe its bevy of goals and proposals enabled Trump to rapidly implement conservative priorities. For Meisel and others, the trade-off was clear. Exposing Democrats to scrutiny and criticism over a book of policy proposals was a fine price to pay for being prepared for the rigors of the campaign and the demands of actually governing. And like, I gotta be honest, if these are the ideas being leaked right now as examples of the best this slate of proposals has to offer, like, it's not worth the paper it's written on. You know, it's not worth the monitor it's typed on. It is, I don't know, guys. Like, when we talk about the infighting within the Democratic Party for which way it's going to go, this is why progressives need to win. This is why the left needs to marshal power. This is why you need to start going to those goddamn meetings I keep bugging you guys about, right? I talk about this because you guys need to start showing up. You guys need to start showing up for your local Democratic meetings. You need to start showing up for your local DSA meetings, because these guys are going to have the say over what happens within the Democratic Party if there's nobody else in the room. So please, for the love of God, get organized. Get organized. Get organized. Join your local Dems. Join your local DSA. If you need help, join our Discord. Reach out to Dragonfly for help joining your local Dems. Reach out to GamerG for help joining your local DSA. We'll help you take those first steps. We'll help you do it. It's important. And it is, I think, vitally important that we get this hashed out now, that we start going to these events now, because this is going to go full nuclear in 2027. You know, once people start announcing that they're going to be running in 2028, this is going to be baked into their platforms. And this cannot be allowed to stand. This cannot be allowed to, like, be the norm. This cannot be the accepted platform for Democrats, because this is going to fail. And will wind us right back up where we are right now with MAGA and fascism. So, I don't know. I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to hammer home here that, like, this is genuinely some warmed over dog shit. And it makes me really upset to see. Let me just pull this out here. Yeah. So, anyway, folks, that's all I had to say, I
Did you
guess.
exercise today? The fascists did. Why haven't you?
If you got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button. Do the things. Go exercise if you haven't. It's just good for you. And also, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. Go check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. It's beautiful, sexy, non-tucking lingerie. Go check it out. Link down in the description. Let's keep on going. I don't think the right wing can be stopped now. No, they can absolutely be stopped. It just takes competent governance. It takes competent leadership. And it takes those of us who give a damn getting involved. The number of people that support Donald Trump dwindle by the day. They get weaker every fucking hour.
Is the platform MOG from the Dems spiking your cortisol?
Is the platform MOG from the Dems spiking your cortisol? Absolutely.
Just got here. Congratulations to Jazzdog for being the #1 plan for the Democratic Party.
All right, folks. I will be back later tonight. This was just, I saw this, I read it, and I got furious beyond words. I'll be back tonight, and you know, maybe we'll play some Mina the Hollower. It is releasing tonight. So, you know, we'll see what's happening. competency and progressive are like oil and water. Nah, literally the only competent governance in this country is being done by progressive socialists right now. Let's move on.